So I'm one of the few people who's not singing the praises of Life is Strange. Stay tuned to find out what I thought about it. Welcome back, everyone. Tonic here with another review, so let's dive right into it. Life is Strange is a point and click, choose your own adventure game in the same style of Walking Dead or King's Quest. In it, you play as Max Caulfield, a photography student who's traveled back to her hometown of Arcadia Bay to study at the prestigious art school Blackwell Academy. Now, things are going fairly normally for Max until one day in school she has a nightmarish daydream of the town being destroyed. Obviously shaken up by this, Max decides to go to the ladies' room and collect herself and try and make sense of the vision that she had. Incidentally, a lone butterfly flutters into a blocked-off corner of the ladies' room, giving Max a unique photo opportunity. While distracted and out of view, one of Max's male classmates bursts into the ladies' room, brandishing a gun while mumbling to himself. Not too long after that, a seemingly random girl chases him in, argues with him, they tussle, and she's shot. Witnessing this from the shadows, Max lets out a cry, reaches out, and before she knows it, she's back in class the moment after she had her nightmare. Shocked and confused, Max quickly realizes that this wasn't a fluke. She has the ability to rewind time. Knowing this, she decides to go back into the ladies' room and stop the murder from ever happening. Successful, Max finds out that the girl she saved was her best friend from childhood, Chloe Price. After some exposition and another confrontation with the male classmate, Chloe saves Max from a dangerous situation. From here, the story follows Max and Chloe's journey in discovering what Max's powers are capable of, uncovering some of the shady dealings in this quaint small town, and finding a way to save the town from its imminent doom. The gameplay obviously centers around Max's ability to rewind time. Pretty much all of the puzzle solving in it requires some sort of trial and error. You see the item you need, you go for it, fail, rewind time, then find a way to prevent the same outcome from happening, and progress. This process is kind of rinse and repeat, but it's not a deterrent, because most of the puzzles are more about expositing more of the story than being a big brain teaser. There were a few times that I got stuck because I forgot that when you rewind time, it's relative to your position and not your actions, so I would be on the opposite side of a puzzle and forget that I could rewind and stay there. Exploration is highly recommended. Each location has a lot to check out or people to talk to, and a lot of it expands the world by learning more about the people who live there and might help you expand your dialogue options in some of the more important conversations. Speaking of, there were a few times in the game when you're poised to make crucial decisions. These decisions alter other events in the game depending on how you answer. Most of these decisions are changeable with a simple rewind, but there are a few that aren't, so be mindful. This is where one of my gripes comes in with the game. Most of these key decisions feel like they're just both bad. Just one slightly not as bad as the other. Choosing between the lesser of two evils can be a little stale. Overall, seeing how people react to the different dialogue choices can be fun, especially in the more lighthearted scenes. The music in Life is Strange is kinda hit or miss for me. The actual soundtrack is good and tends to fit the scenes just fine, but it uses these kind of drony, folky indie songs from bands that pretty much all sound like they were cut from the same interchangeable hipster cloth. Now, I'm not typically a snob when it comes to music, but when the songs used sound pretty much the same and it's more like they were picked because the devs liked the song more than fitting with the relevance of the story. Kind of like that one kid that makes the Naruto AMVs to a Linkin Park song just because the one line reminds him of Sasuke. Now, on to the story. More importantly, the writing. I'm not too particularly fond of the writing in this game, but it's not so much from the story standpoint, it's more the characters. I have a hard time liking them, and it kind of makes it hard to play when you don't like the characters. The story is solid, After Max and Chloe's reunion, they decide to search for answers about Max's powers, the disappearance of Chloe's friend slash lover, Rachel, and other various cover-ups made by the town's elite family, the Prescotts. The game goes from being a standard teen drama to CSI Arcadia pretty fluidly, and it gets really engaging. Some of the major story points did tug at my heartstrings a little, and some of the acting really did help drive it, but I really want to say more, but parts of the story I really liked are pretty spoilery, and you know I don't go there. What holds this game back for me is the characters and the writing. Almost every character in this game has some sort of chip on their shoulder and can just get downright nasty to each other because of it. It tries to play up the everyone has something to hide trope a little too much, and it backfires in my opinion. Even the people you try and help can be downright bitchy to you for no reason. And there were too many times when a line came out of someone's mouth that just made me let out a disgusted sigh. The dialogue is just a little too unnatural. The lingo seems forced, as well as some of the language, which is one of my biggest pet peeves in entertainment. Now, I am not a prude when it comes to expletives, but it has to feel natural. Just dropping the F-bomb here and there does not make your characters more grown up. It just makes them sound like the kid that didn't curse in middle school, but when he hits high school, he starts cursing every other word because they want to look cool. It just seems like the writers spent a week watching MTV teen dramas and thought, this is how high schoolers sound, and went with it. It's all just lazy character writing. Now, the end of the day, I don't want to discourage people from playing Life is Strange. I do think it's worth the playthrough. The overall story is good. There's a good amount of twists and surprises, and a fair amount of sense of consequence for your decisions, for the most part. I just don't understand why people are praising this game so highly. I mean, it's good. I just don't think it's that good. So that's why I'm going to give this game a 6.5 out of 10. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm right, if you played the game and you have your own opinions, you can go ahead and leave a comment. You can click up in the corner here for my last video. You can click in here for all the rest of my videos. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.